and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and it's day 2 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, featuring 31 exclusive sketches. And this sketch today is by Crafty Meggie, or Meggie Blathen, and you can find her on YouTube and on Instagram. And she created this really cool sketch that's got a couple of 4x6 or 3x5 pictures, and then I am going to use some of my These Days collection by Coco Vanilla. And I don't have a lot left. What you see is all that I have left in this collection. I'm hoping to use up as many scraps on this layout as I can. I'm planning on using that wood grain, and then I've got this ephemera, not a whole lot, some puffies, and then I'm going to use a speckled egg by Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, and then I also have this Tim Holtz stencil I'm going to use. So then I'm going to be documenting these two pictures. This picture is my family with my dad's best friend and wife and daughter. And then this is the rock or the stone that my dad's best friend had created for him, and a picture of my dad. So I've got my papers, my embellishments, my pictures, and this awesome sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I take this Tim Holtz stencil, and I want some of the X's and I want some of the O's. That is something my grandmother always put on notes, so I always love doing that. While this doesn't really have a whole lot to do with my grandmother because she's not in the picture, it is her son. So I'm just going to push that speckled egg through there because I have found that speckled egg is a really good color match for These Days by Coco Vanilla. And I'm just trying to get that top corner and the bottom corner like she has what looks like a mixed media space in those two areas. And then I'm going to go ahead and map my pictures. I had enough of that yellow plaid or gingham for me to be able to map both of these pictures. I did trim the group picture down some because there was a lot of space at the top and the bottom, and I wanted to give myself a little table to put my title on the top of that first picture that's going to be a little shorter than the second. And so I know that it may seem crazy I'm cutting this paper down, but I'm using it to trace. So I cut it down to, I believe, a 10.5 by a 10.5. And I just tilt it because she's got that sketched out, or it could be you could use a cutting device and just trim out two borders and put them down wonky. I decided to trace out, and I kind of wish I would have done it with a thicker marker or pen. But in person, you can definitely see those lines, and I do like them. Right here on camera, I don't see it as well, but in person, it's a lot more bold, and I did go over it a couple of times. And so after I get my pictures in the general place I want them, I'm going to kind of decide what I want to use on here. Now, I'm putting a bicycle on here, and this has nothing to do with a bicycle, other than that's a mode of transportation, and my dad's best friend transported himself from his house to my mom's house. Has nothing to do with it, but it's just an embellishment. Had some florals on it. I did want to add some florals. You can't tell really well in this picture, but in the background of the group picture, there's a wreath hanging up on the stone fireplace, which my father designed. He did not put it together and put it up, but he designed it. He's a geologist. And that wreath was what my dad's best friend and his wife sent for my dad's funeral. So that I just wanted to make sure that stayed in the picture because it is specific to this family. So I do go ahead and create with florals and that bicycle, and there's like an envelope with florals in it, and I put that over there, and then I cut it off, and I'm going to use the other side of that up on the top section. So she's got a bunch of florals making the diagonal, and the corners look open. Now the only thing I didn't do, probably because I didn't go back and look again at the sketch, is it looks like she's got some washi tape or word phrases in the top corner and in the bottom in the middle. And I do have one in the bottom middle by the picture, but not up in the top corner, at least not where hers is. And I don't have journaling over there on the left side because I write I'll write journaling later. I may put it there. I haven't decided exactly what I want to write on here. So it's emotional, and so I have to think about it. So this little house that I put down on here actually says cafe on it, and that doesn't really fit necessarily because the gist of it was they had come to my mom's house, and that's why I wanted to use that on there. I just used that tree and covered over the word cafe. Now you could see a little of it, but you can't really tell what it is or that it's even a word, so I'm perfectly fine with that. And I trimmed off that little floral at the bottom, and so I just tucked it in right here on the right side of the picture for a little extra something. So I love that, and I have been inking. The pictures got inked with the speckled egg, and I'm inking this little word phrase, both of the ones that I end up using, as well as a little banner or pennant. I ink that as well, and it's all with the speckled egg. And the little strip at the bottom of the picture says time spent together is better, and then I pull in another one that I put on the picture that says thankful for you, because between my brother-in-law, who is holding the stone on the far left, and the man right behind him, which is my dad's oldest and dearest friend, the two of them had these two rocks created, or stones created, one as a not really a headstone because we had my dad cremated at his wishes, but they scattered his ashes in Canada, and so they put this stone on the island where he was, where his favorite fishing hole. And I did create a layout about his favorite fishing hole and the waterfall where his ashes were scattered back in September. I think it was the 17th of September was my Courageously Crafting Scrapbooking Through the Hard Stuff. And so I documented the day that they scattered his ashes for us since we couldn't go. So anyway, there is a picture of this stone there as well. So I decided to use the word grateful because we were very grateful for my brother-in-law and my dad's best friend Jimmy for creating these stones because they were so special. And so that's why I went with that. And I put down these little leafy bits, and after I put them down, I realized they look ridiculous in my opinion. So I pulled them all back up. Luckily, this stuff does not set right away, and it came up pretty easily. So I put those away. I don't mind the black, like that light gray black color, because it's in the house, and that little tag I put at the top and in the word phrase. It just looks strange, maybe because it was three-dimensional and or dimensional and the other things weren't at the time. I don't know. It just didn't look right. So I'm going to try and pull some things off here that I can add to fluff up my layout. I take this circle that's got like a little wreathy floral around it, and I cut it in half, tuck part of it behind this tree to extend that space up there at the top. And then I'm going to tuck the other part down here underneath that time spent together is better. And then I thought about putting that arrow on there, but changed my mind. And then I also think about a couple of other things that are on there. I am hot and fussed with this layout a lot longer than I would have anticipated. I pulled this little word phrase off of this accessory sheet, says, "Oh, my heart." And the little pennant below it says love. So I get that up there, and then I take the puffy stickers. I put a butterfly up here on top of the tree. I put a little floral up there underneath the house next to that little envelope, and the word memory, and all that's in puffy stickers. And then I use 3 of the hearts and make a little cluster right above the word grateful, just to give a little something there. And then I add a butterfly in the bottom cluster, a word phrase banner that says love you, and a little puffy a puffy flower down in the bottom, almost right in the center of the bottom of the page. And I get that down there. And then I did put another word phrase on here right on top of the stone, but not covering anything, that says cherished, because it definitely is. And that is really all I'm going to do on this layout. Oh, I do come in with my speckled egg, and I take my watercolor paintbrush and just tap some of that out on those 3 little areas, right on top of where the inking is, and then in those 2 clusters. And it is very hard to see because there's not really a lot of it. I may go back. I haven't decided. I may even pick something a little darker to put there because it's a very light color, and I did it through the water brush, so it already was a little lined down. I did get a couple little spots on my dad. So, sorry, Dad. I do fix that, kind of. So, if I get too frustrated and I don't like it, it's like a dot on his shirt. If it irritates me too much, then I may just reprint the picture and fix it, because the only thing I have to do is fix where it's the grateful is tucked in right there. So we'll see. I think it'll be just fine. So here is the close-up. I hope that you all will go to the playlist where everybody is playing along and posting their videos. I am so excited to get started watching all of these. It is just day 2, and I know there's going to be lots and lots of great creations going up there, going up on the Facebook group. Some people don't have YouTube. They may have Instagram. So I hope you will go and check all of that out. The hashtag is on here and everything. So hopefully it'll be a fabulous month. Have a great day and hope to see you tomorrow, and happy scrapping.